in your life. So, of course, unless you have the same ascendant as your sun sign, which happens quite often. As I said earlier, if you were born under this sign, you will be more concerned, directly concerned by the energy of Venus, but also in the area where Gemini is in your birth chart, which is, represented by a certain house. What I want to emphasize is the fact that your sun sign, whatever it is, can be compared to your ascendant. It's not your ascendant, of course, unless you have the same ascendant as your sun sign, which happens quite often. But if it's not the case, it doesn't matter. Consider your sign as being your ascendant. And what I'm going to tell you about Venus should be relevant to what may happen in your life. So, if you were born under the sign Gemini, of course, as I said earlier, your energy is directly affected by the transit of Venus in a good way. It increases the potential to create, to have good ideas, and it makes you more likable as well in presence of other people. So you may be getting more privileges and nice things from whoever is around you, because you will have a better type of behavior with these people. So you will be more agreeable, nicer, and that will, of course, sort of motivate other people to be nice to you in return. So if you have an important thing to ask, a privilege or something like that, or if you need to talk about yourself, about your life, if you want to obtain more from your life in a personal area, then of course Venus will be backing you up more or less. It will be giving you more positive energy to obtain what you want in the presence of other people. But it doesn't have to be other people, actually. It could be just because you are going to feel better overall. And that can also be expressed as far as your health is concerned. Now, let's begin from the first sign, Aries. If you were born under the sign Aries, or if your ascendant is in Aries, let's not compare anything like that. What I want to say is that your sign or your ascendant in Aries brings Gemini to the third house. It is the third sign from your sign or your ascendant, this one being the first one. And you see, in Aries, there are the Sun, Jupiter, and Chiron. They're all in Aries, and they're in good configuration here with the Moon, but that was on the 11th of April. It's not anymore as soon as the Moon, continues on traveling around. But there will be a conjunction with Venus in Gemini, which I will talk about later on. What is important to remember is that while Venus transits in Gemini, it makes you more efficient as far as communication is concerned. So if you need to travel, if you need to talk about something important, if you need to go to an interview for work or anything else, well, you will probably have a better type of behavior to communicate, to express what you need to express, to write what you need to write, perhaps, and so on and so forth. It's going to make you more creative, more sensitive as far as communication is concerned. So you will probably derive some nice consequences of whatever you write, you say, or you do. if that has something to do with communication, you will be favored by this transit of Venus. You will be protected in that area of your life. So if you need to study, for example, or if you need to sit for an exam, Venus will be around to make you more creative about what you need to write, what you need to say, what you need to express, what you need to deliver. And that will have a positive, of course, effect on the results that you will get. And those results you may get, and that will apply for everyone, when the moon actually reaches the position of Venus in Gemini, which, I will talk about later on. Anyway, if you were born under the second sign of the zodiac, which is Taurus, then Gemini is your second house. That means that it is the second sign from yours, 1, 2. And in your sign, you have Uranus, you have Mercury, you have the North Lunar Node. So you are in a period of your life which is very important because it seems to be marked by an important change, a major change. It is something that you need to go toward, like the North Lunar Node represents that toward which we need to go in life. So you need to go toward Mercury, communication once again, and Mercury represents Gemini. So while Venus is in Gemini, it is under the influence of Mercury. But Mercury is in Venus's sign because Venus's sign is Taurus, and Venus is here in Gemini, in Mercury's sign, and Mercury is in Venus's sign. There is an exchange of residence between the two. So they need to be more friendly somehow. So that will enhance also your ability to be quite creative as far as anything that has to do with house 2 in astrology, the material side of life, and whatever good things life can bring to you, can give to you. That is represented by house 2. And that is through communication, friends, sharing nice moments with dear friends of yours. That will also have something to do with the transit of Venus in Gemini. And that will last for about 3 weeks. So, enjoy. And then Gemini, I've talked about it. Gemini, it's true, is going to be quite favored by this transit of Venus, but there is a discordance here with Saturn, which will have an effect for about a week or so, maybe less, and that will probably have a restricting effect on the energy of Venus, which may make it a little bit more difficult to obtain the good things that we want or expect from life. We may have to wait a little longer. We may have to be a bit more patient. We may have to be also perhaps a little bit more involved in the work, the effort that needs to be done or made to obtain what we want. Because Venus represents the good things of life, they have a price. So if you're prepared to pay that price, whether you're a Gemini, a Taurus, Aries, or any other sign, then you'll obtain satisfaction, but it may take a little bit more time. Actually, I think it will take as much time as Venus needs to get away from that square aspect, which is, that discordance here, the red line with Saturn. And that will take about a week. So maybe what you expect to get on the 11th of April, the 12th of April, may not be obtained before perhaps the 18th or 20th of April. And on the 20th of April, there will be a new moon, and that will have to be analyzed as well, because it will have a very strong connotation according to Venus, although it is going to be to happen to occur in Aries. I've made a video about that, so if you want to watch it, don't hesitate. Now let's talk about Cancer. Gemini precedes Cancer. So for Cancer, Gemini represents the 12th house because it is the 12th sign from their sign. So if you were born under this sign, it means that Venus is going to bring back some interesting, nice, likable elements from your past, which is represented by the 12th house. Now, the past may, be somehow a source of good memories, or it may be that you meet someone that you haven't seen for a long time, and perhaps you share with some people things that you've acquired a long time ago. In any case, whatever happens, the past represented by Gemini is going to make things nicer for you. But remember that because Gemini is the sign that precedes yours, when Venus finishes the transit in Gemini, it will transit in your sign. So there will be a video about that as well. But you should prepare yourself for that event because it is an important one. It's going to last for 3 weeks, but it is going to have a very positive effect. It will enhance your charm, your presence and within the social environment, whatever it is. I will talk about that later on when times comes of the talking about the transit of Venus in Cancer. But while it is in Gemini, and because it is Mercury's sign, it has something to do with communication. So it is something that you receive, perhaps. It is someone that you meet again and you remember things together, you sort of talk a lot and you talk about the past and so on and so forth. But all the memories seem to be nice memories because that's what Venus represents. Right? It doesn't represent things that are not nice. So then there is Mars in here. So Mars is making you more active and reactive in a good way, though, because Mars, you see, is in harmony with Saturn and also in harmony with Mercury. It makes you more efficient communicating, and it makes you more efficient as well wherever an effort and work are necessary. Saturn represents that, and you may be more patient as well to obtain satisfaction. So Venus is going to have a beneficial influence on you, and what you prepare while Mars transits in Cancer, it is going to transit in Cancer for 6 weeks. So Venus is going to probably create, if not a conjunction, a very close relationship between Venus and Mars. And that will have a very positive influence on the energy of Mars, which will become even more efficient then. Well, you will become even more efficient. Then let's talk about Leo. From Leo, Gemini is the 11th sign, which has something to do with the social environment, friends, friendship, and also social acquaintances. People you know, or people you may meet, and people who may help you in some way. If Venus is a good planet and it represents the good things of life, these good things of life are going to stem from human relationships, or perhaps your geographical environment. Suddenly you feel well where you are, where you live or where you go. It may be a holiday or whatever it is a source of nice feelings. Lilith is in Leo. So it is here to represent the fact that you may be thinking about something that you cannot really express clearly. You don't exactly.
Meaning intuition. When Black Lilith is in your sign, like 2021, I think, or 2020, I had Black Lilith in mine for like 9 months. And that whole time I was fasting on the fruit, ascending up and down, like, and just being in my room, just like getting divine wisdom. But yeah, y'all go check out Obelisk. I don't want this taking all too much space on my phone. But yeah, he's pretty good with the charts. He's the only person I listen to. I get a lot of confirmations and affirmations from that shit, from the way I already be thinking. So like, I speak on Sun and Gemini a lot for everybody.